Hey, what's going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Marvel Strike Force. Now, as we're nearing the end of the year into 2025, I want to do a bit of a reflection, I suppose, of all of the characters that have come out this year in 2024. I have them on a tier maker list that we're going to be going through together, one by one, all of the characters and reworks that have been this year, the class of 2024, to get a better idea of who I think is the best characters that have come out this year. Now, it's completely subjective to my opinion, so what I think is the characters I think are the best are not necessarily who you guys might think are the best. So I would be curious to know which characters you think I was way wrong about or wrong about. But let's have some fun today. So if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I got everyone lined up here in this section down here, which is labeled 2024. Yes, these I believe it's 60-something characters. Now, one thing that before we get started, I have included Nightcrawler and Forge. They were actually released in December, late December of 2023. However, because Sunspot was released in January, I didn't really want to separate the team out. So the Extreme X-Men are making the cut here. This time, also ignore this BC gambling. Maybe it's appropriate because we're in Marvel Strike Force. I can't seem to get rid of this ad. Maybe I'm just an idiot. But anyways, we have all of the other characters here lined up for 2024. They're in alphabetical order. So we're going to be evaluating the characters, what I think is singularly. So kind of their plug and play potential, but I'll also take into consideration how they are on their team as well to rank them either S, A, B, or D. So let's get started with Agatha. And honestly, I do think that even though her kit was not reworked that much, I do think that she was pretty good, both in the Night Stalkers team and just standalone. I did actually use her in Global Villains when she first got her reworked for Dark Dimension 8. So I'm not going to put her in the S tier, but I don't know if there's any reworks that are probably going to make the S tier. But I kind of think that we might start off with the A tier. I think as far as reworks go, keep that in mind. Reworks, I do think that she is in the A tier. That's just me. Ancient One. I think I like her better than Emma Frost. So as far as the new characters go, I may also put her in the A tier. I think she's a pretty solid character. I think like when Astral are able to go, I think that they're pretty good. That's just the problem, is that they always have a speed issue for them to get their turn. So I do like Ancient One's abilities. I love the special. The flipping of all the positive effects is really great. So I'm going to put her in the A tier for now. Ares. So we use Ares for the passive, right, to clear the safeguard. He was the first of the new era characters, right? The new era stat characters. And I feel like his kit is okay. I don't know what he suffers from exactly. Like, he's great in Alliance War, but more well-rounded. I'm wondering if Ancient One should be in the B tier now, because I'm thinking I'm going to put Ares in the B tier. He's not bad. Maybe we should have more than 4. I'm not sure. Oh, maybe Ancient One's a B tier as well. I'm going to leave her in the A tier for just now. Maybe we'll reevaluate later as we get more characters on the board. Now, Beast. Beast has just been reworked. I have had a chance to use him a little bit. I used him in Dark Dimension 8 Global Hero on my alt account, and I thought that he was pretty good as far as sustain and his synergy with other X-Men characters. As a standalone character, though, not super hot. So I am going to put him in the B tier. He is still solid, and I do think that the Uncanny Avengers, those 3 characters, Beast, Storm, and Falcon, are the best of the recent reworks, I think, as far as that goes. And I think there will be broader future synergy as well for X-Men characters down the line that Beast will maybe take a part of. Black Bull, as part of the Illuminati, I'm going to put him in the D tier because somebody needs to be in there. It's not that he's bad, it's just that they didn't really do anything. They just increased his damage a little bit. He is kind of pre-era. I do want to kind of differentiate a little bit. I'm trying to keep in mind that there are pre-New Era stats and post-New Era stats. And I'm trying not to get that to like convince me where they are on the tier list here now, because I'm kind of thinking in terms of the new stats. I'm trying to like put that to one side though. Black Panther Shuri, pretty good kit. I think I will put her in the A tier, I think, as far as characters go. I'm gonna put her in the B tier because I think the Hank actually might be a little bit better. So I'm gonna put Black Panther Shuri in the B tier. I don't think she's bad by any means, and I think she's pretty good. I like her kit actually. In Cosmic Crucible, the Illuminati team are really good. Black Knight, great character. So I'm gonna put him in the S tier only because he is just a great plug and play standalone character, but also the impact that they made when they first came out, right? he destroyed Super Skrull. And so I want to like give some value where it, but give some credit where it's due for the characters when they first came out and the impact that they had on the game. So Black Knight for sure, very powerful character, still pretty good. Blade hits really hard if you have the star levels, but if you don't, his damage is good. But I was really disappointed they didn't make him a legendary. I'm gonna put him in the A tier because if Ancient One's in the A tier, Blade definitely needs to be in the A tier. I think he's pretty good. Let's put. You know what? Let's put Agatha into the B tier now that I think about it, because I don't know if Blade is necessarily the same caliber as Agatha. Captain Britain, obvious S tier, great character. The release method, unfortunately, was not very desirable, but it is what it is. And we've been able to access, and most people have got them unlocked now at this point, so at least that's something. Out of Time, so we have Captain America and Captain Carter. I'm going to put them in the D tier. I'm going to put both of them in the D tier because I just, it's not that they're bad. It's just that they're just kind of part of the team, right? You kind of need them to function, but I wouldn't say that they're, by and large that good beyond that, right? The D tier is going to be like the characters that you kind of just have to have on the team. They're not like super amazing. They're probably, not necessarily the first one to build, that kind of thing. Cable. I haven't had much chance to use him, but the stuff that I have used so far, his kit really did. I'm going to put him in the D tier as well, but just because his kit didn't get reworked that much. We'll have to see. So Jean Grey and Hercules are not on this list. I haven't had a chance to play with them, obviously. And also Jean isn't out until January, so she's not going to make this list, even though the team would, and I made my excuses for Extreme X-Men. Carnage. I don't like that he's a five gear piece, but you do kind of need him. So I'm gonna put him in the B tier. This is part of Hive Mind, right? I'm gonna put him in D tier. Anyone that basically can't stand on their own, basically is gonna be in the D tier. So Carnage is really great in the Hive Mind. He functions really well, right? But as far as a standalone character goes, yeah, those people who can't stand on their own are going to be in the D tier. Cyclops also in the D tier. I actually do like that the rework for Extreme X-Men included his ultimate was able to clear revive once. I like that. I haven't used him in a while though, unfortunately. Daken. I'm going to put Daken in the A tier. I think he is very strong. I think he has some plug and play ability a little bit, or he did more so before. When characters went into stealth, he'd really take advantage of that with the speed bar. He actually does a lot of damage. At the time when Mercs for Money first came out, I didn't build them. I actually didn't build Daken, Pandapool, or Deadpool, and I ended up doing it later. After the last Pocket Dimension fuck up, where we got to run it like a million times, I got a bunch of gold, and I ended up putting that towards Mercs for Money, and I definitely don't regret it since. They've been a really strong, as far as old era characters go, they're just been really strong. I use them in Cosmic Crucible offense, and of course in War as well. So pretty good character. I actually quite like Daken. Deadpool, I'm gonna put him in the D tier. I mean, it's kind of those things like you're not going to use him by himself, and so I just don't think he's okay. And you're gonna use him Mercs for Money, but yeah, that's all I have to say. Deathpool, also, you kind of need to build there for Apocalypse, I think, to gear tier 17. But yeah, what I don't think they just gave her a bit of stats. I don't think they really did anything to the kit. So I'm gonna put her in the D tier as well. Doctor Strange. Now, that's going to go into the B tier. I do think that he's a pretty solid rework. So on the level of Agatha, honestly, I think as far as characters go. And I have nothing to really complain. It's just the Astral team is still slow. That's the only problem that I have with the team and with the individual characters. None of them are particularly that fast or have a way to like speed themselves up. I do like Doctor Strange. I like the ability that they gave him to summon Wong. You could argue the relevancy or how big of a deal that is. But nonetheless, I like what they did to him anyways. Emma Frost is also going to be in the B tier. I think she's worse than Ancient One, which is basically why I wanted to have her in a different tier than the Ancient One. She has a pretty interesting passive that basically negates speed or plus speed, but it's currently bugged and it doesn't work on defense, and you have to use her on offense to do that. She does have some broader X-Men synergy that might become more relevant like later when more X-Men characters come out, but right now I'm not seeing too many like hybrid teams that use her that much. That's just me, though, in my personal opinions. Falcon. I'm actually going to put Falcon in the A tier, and here's why. Because he has great plug-and-play ability with his speed bar mechanics. He will survive now, and his ultimate actually does a lot of damage. So I'm very looking forward to more plug-and-play with Falcon, given that, speed is king. Speed bar is typically king as well, and I think the Falcon is going to have a lot of plug-and-play value in the future. Forge. Let's put him in the B. Yeah, let's put him in the D. You know, he's technically D tier, but because he can't run standalone, right? That was my criteria for D tier, was that could you use him standalone? No, not really. And so Forge is there, but he's a great healer. You know, for the Extreme X-Men, you have to have him anyways, right? So he's kind of like, let's just put him in B tier, right? I don't know how much you're using Black Panther Shuri standalone. Well, maybe some people might. I'm torn, but I'm gonna leave him in B tier because he is a newer character. Gambit is a rework. However, I am also gonna put him in the B tier because I love Gambit, and I think that his rework was pretty solid. And he didn't really need much. His kit was really good, and I love the Extreme X-Men team. Ghost Spider gonna be on the D tier. You can't really use her standalone, really. It's okay. She's okay. Spider Society is a great team, of course, but Ghost Spider, the rework characters in this case, are not insane by any means. Gladiator. So most of the Annihilers are probably going to be hitting the S tier. Gladiator is just a solid tank. Made quite a bit of a difference. Still using it in Arena. I don't know how. Maybe we will for a while. Actually, with Odin, I'm not sure if not everyone's using Gladiator. Actually, now that I think about it, but nonetheless, we are still going to be using Gladiator for a while, I think. And he's just a new era stat wall. So really good character. Gore, I am going to put in the A tier. He is not the worst character, and a lot of people are still using him, but he may even be a B tier, honestly, just because his kit is it's okay, right? It's not super amazing by any means, but he is a good character and part of that Annihilators team, which is really good. We have Gwenom. I'm gonna put Gwenom in the B tier. I actually do like Gwenom. I like that she's Hero Spider-Verse. Hero Spider-Verse. She has some buffs to that as well, which is pretty neat. We'll see if she gets any love in the future or any new things outside of Hive Mind. Guardian. I actually really like Guardian's kit. But Alpha Flight, yeah, he's gonna go into the B tier as well. Guardian is pretty solid. I actually took him to I took him to Dark Dimension 7 on my main account. He's a tech character. But I do like the debuffs that he gets, the offense up he gives on spawn to all characters in barrier. Like, he is pretty plug and play. Maybe not in the most widest range because he's an old era stat character, but he does have some pretty interesting mechanics. I do like his stun, which is unavoidable, and his on-spawn stuff as well. So Guardian's going to be solidly in the B tier. Hank Pym, yes. I love Hank Pym. He's going to be in the A tier. I wanted to put him basically second to Captain Britain. And Hank Pym has some really good callouts to hero characters. As far as the Illuminati team goes, he's really good. He puts out Trauma on his ultimate. He gets Safeguard on his special, things like that. Really good support character. Hank Pym in the A tier. And then we have... So I'm not sure. I'm just going to put her down here. I've not much to say about Hela. I wasn't even sure if I was going to add her in there. I don't even know why I did put her in there. Because technically she got a very minor stat bump. She got no changes to her kit, really. So I'm just going to put her down there in the D tier. I'm not going to talk about her much. Invisible Woman. I haven't had a whole chance to use her yet, but she has an insane amount of stats. My Invisible Woman, actually, I just want to kind of pivot to my game very quickly, that I believe, yeah, I did take her to Q turn. I don't know why I did this, but she's got over 10 million health. I haven't had a huge chance to use her in the Mighty Avengers team because Hercules is not out. So the jury's out for just now. I'm going to put her in the D tier, but she's got some pretty insane stats, and the stats aren't everything, right? You know, and so we'll have to see when Hercules comes out whether or not she actually ends up doing anything more. Her ultimate does do damage, so she did receive a decent rework. I will put, but I haven't used her enough to really justify putting her into any of these other tiers. Ironheart. I'm not a big Absolute A-Force fan, I'll be honest, so I'm putting her in the D tier just because maybe I don't understand her true value. I don't think she's as good as Wasp, personally. That's just me. Kahori, I am going to put her in their S tier. I do believe in her future plug-and-play ability because of her speed bar mechanics, regardless of whether or not you build the full Absolute A-Force or not. I do believe that she will have some value down the road and in this game. She's a new era stat character. Her stats are very solid. So once she becomes farmable, I think we'll see her being used even more and more. Now, we have Iron Patriot of Cabal. I do like Cabal. So I'm going to put them in the A tier as far as their impact for the game. Even outside of Cosmic Crucible, I felt that they were pretty impactful. So definitely A tier for Cabal. Lady Deathstrike, ooh, definitely A. Even though she was one of the newer reworks in the new era stats, I do really like the damage that she's put out. Her damage is really high. And so I like using her when I'm able to, whether it's in Orcus or in other places. Lady Deathstrike is very powerful. Same with Leader. I'm going to put him in here, slot him in here with Cabal. I love Cabal. Same stuff that I said about Iron Patriot, love Cabal. I can use them in War, I can use them in Crucible, and other events that I need to use them in. Man Thing, I'm actually going to put him in D tier because I don't feel that you can use him plug and play or stand alone. And I don't like that you need the full team to activate a spawn taunt. Unlike some of the other characters like Zombie Juggernaut, Gladiator, they don't need their teammates in order to get the spawn taunt. Sasquatch even, is he on the list? Sasquatch is down here. So as far as a tank goes, I don't think that Man Thing is as impactful in my opinion. Medusa, I haven't had a chance to use her, but I'm going to put her in the B tier. A lot of people say that she is really, really good as far as her damage goes. And so she's basically an upgrade to Black Bolt. She's a new era stat Black Bolt. That's pretty much what I understand her to be. Mephisto, obviously, in the S tier, because he's just really good. He's impactful everywhere. They even buffed him again when some whales and krakens complained about him not being as good. I believe he got like, I don't know, like a doubling of health. I don't remember. Something like that. Or 50%. It was pretty crazy. Anyway, still really impactful, even though at some point in the near future, Null is going to make him less relevant, apparently, but we'll see when that time comes. Moondragon, definitely going to be in the D tier. I don't feel that she's really plug and play viable on her rework. I actually think she's less plug and play than Doctor Strange, so I'm going to put her down here in D tier. Moon Knight, he's kind of slow still, but I do kind of like him. Is he plug and play? Not, I don't know. I'm torn. I'm going to put him in the B tier. I like Moon Knight. I have like a personal love for Moon Knight a little bit. So I'm gonna put him here in the B tier. He's one of these two, but I do actually like his kit. I love all the the status effects that he puts out. You know, it's pretty good, and so I want to put him in the B tier. Nightcrawler, I'm actually gonna put him in the S tier. He's not necessarily an S tier character now, but he was when he came out. He was super impactful. I think he still is, honestly. He's a great plug and play character. He's got a lot of buffs to X-Men, but also just the broader, you know, anyone. He's fast, right? He gets speed up on spawn, that kind of stuff. And so he's a really good character, and I think he will be for some time. Even though he's an old stat character, I hope that maybe they'll give him a minor rework in the near future. Mr. Fantastic, going to put him down here in the D tier. I don't think he's anything super impressive, unfortunately, in the Illuminati team. He's okay, but he's not really that amazing. Miss Marvel Classic. Now, I'm going to put her in the A tier just because everyone tells me that she's really good. As far as the Absolute A-Force team goes, I believe she's second to Kahori, so that, you know, if she has very high stars, then she's going to be super impactful, whether it's on our team or in Frozen Dimension, which we've been slogging our way through these days, and good God. But yes, Miss Marvel Classic. I'm not sure if I'm going to be building this team myself, but I do want to kind of put a nod to her abilities. Then we have Namor, so I'm going to plug him into the A tier. I'm going to put him into the B tier. I think he's not as good, obviously, as Iron Patriot and Leader, but I really do like Cabal, like I said before, and so I'm going to give him that nod there as far as his overall kit and how he impacts the gameplay with Cabal. Nimrod, where is he going to go? B? You know what? I'm going to give him A tier. I think that he does a lot of damage. I love that his special has like a cooldown of 3. It's very low, and it's, I think it's not unavoidable. That's the all. But nonetheless, it's still really good. He's got some crazy like AOE damage, and I do want to give him a nod to that. I do like Nimrod as a character, just as a Marvel character, so I wanted to do that too. North Star, I'm putting him in the A tier too because I think he's the best member of the Alpha Flight. Also, he does clear revive once on his ultimate, which has really good plug and play value in PvP mode if you're trying to get rid of that. And he's a bit of a pain in the ass when you're using. We're still using him as well, you know, in Spotlight Raid 2. I think he's the best of the Alpha Flight team, in my opinion. Moving on to Oath. Plug and play. I didn't level her up. My Oath is still leveled up, right? Or like she's still like here. So I'm not the best person to ask about Oath, but I'm personally going to be putting her in a B tier. I kind of wish she was an MSF original character. She was tagged that way, but she's not. Her kit's okay, but I think it's very raid based. And so that's kind of why I'm putting her in the B tier, because I think that she hasn't been amazingly impactful in other game modes, but maybe I just don't know the true value of Night Stalkers. Odin, obvious S tier. I don't need to say more, right? The obvious pay, the biggest pay scam in Marvel Strike Force, you know, this Dark Dimension 8 stuff that came out and people cleared it in a month. But nonetheless, it is what it is. Odin's still amazing. People are chasing him. He's great. He's mythic. Old Man Logan, also S tier. Best legendary character. Well, there was only 2, I guess, but best legendary character to date in my opinion. Still super impactful almost everywhere other than Arena. He's great. His kit is insane. He has trauma on two. He get energy like the Wazoo. He gets turn bar. He's just insane character, right? Like I don't even need. Do I need to say more? Omega Sentinel. I'm gonna put her in the B tier as well. I think that she's quite good in Orcus, but so really probably should be down here. I don't know how. She's gonna be in the D tier actually. It's not that she's bad. You don't really need her to do the tech raids right now either. I was able to clear it without Omega Sentinel for a very long time. It just helps you be able to sim it if you do use Omega Sentinel. She has some pretty solid pings, but I don't think she's a plug and play character. So that's why I'm going to be putting her in the D tier. Penny Parker, ooh, Spider Society. Well, that's what we're getting to now, and I love me some Spider Society. So, is she the best one though? No, maybe no. She's really good. She's gonna be in the A tier. Penny is really good. I love Spider Society. Really, really good. Peter B. Parker also going to be in the A tier here. Love Spider Society. So they're really tough. They're really honestly, I do feel that Spider Society may in fact be one of the best teams in Marvel Strike Force for 2024. They have the most well-roundedness. Not only are they a raid team, but they had a war season. They're great. They had caught multiple Cosmic Crucible seasons. People are still using them, right? They're using them in raids in PvP. I think they're a pretty solid team, honestly. As far as I can't even imagine what Spider Society would look like if they were a new stat era team. But as an old stat team, they're one of the best raid teams to ever come out. Absolutely crazy. Panda Pool. I don't think he's really plug and play, so I'm gonna put him in D tier. It's not that I don't like Panda Pool, but that's kind of the definition that I put for D tier was that they're not really usable outside their team. I don't think he really is. Polaris is also going to be in the D tier. I don't think she's usable outside of the Immortal X-Men. Granted, I have not really used this much. I've used her a little bit. She's pretty slow still, and I didn't really get to take advantage of her that much. So I'm going to be putting her in the D tier for just now. Red Goblin. I'm going to put Red Goblin in the A tier. I do like his kit. I do like his damage is very high, especially for when he came out. And I like Norman Osborn, I guess. So yeah, Hive Mind, Red Goblin, pretty cool character. Sasquatch, also going to be in the A tier as far as a pre-taunter goes. He's not as good as Gladiator, but I mean he's a pre-stat era team and a character, and I still think he's pretty solid. So I'm going to be leaving him in the A tier here. Scientist Supreme, also, believe it or not, I'm going to be putting her in the A tier as well. Put her in here next to next to Lady Deathstrike. So I do like Scientist Supreme. I like the changes that she got with the turn bar, the crazy turn bar on Spawn. I don't like the fact that she can put trauma on her own team members, but nonetheless, within the Orcus team, I mean, so because I just said that, it feels like I should be putting her in the D tier, but I really, really like Scientist Supreme's rework, and I love AIM, even though she's not AIM anymore necessarily. I'm still going to be putting her in the A tier, even though what I just said out loud was definitely some qualities of the D tier about whether or not you'd use her plug and play, because I don't think you can. But I'm going to cheat here. I'm going to put her in the A tier. I really like the reworks that they did for Scientist Supreme. Sentinel. I'm going to go in the B tier. I actually do like Sentinel. I do like his kits. I like the summoning of the robots and things like that. Not the most plug and play character. However, I'm going to cheat again, and I'm going to put Sentinel in the B tier. Shadow King. I have a hard time with this, honestly, because I'm not a big fan of Shadow King. I'm not a big fan of the actual team in general, but Ancient One's in the A tier. So I feel like, you know what, we're gonna move. If there was a B minus tier, we're gonna move Shadow King to A tier, but Ancient One is gonna be, I guess he's the best of the team, maybe. I don't even know. I have a 7-star Shadow King, and honestly, I don't know. I'm really disappointed with this team, but I'll put him above the rest of the characters. I don't think you're necessarily using Ancient One and Emma Frost standalone, but I believe that Emma might have future potential above some of the other characters. Silver Surfer, D tier. He was like one of the Annihilers was one of the first kind of new era stat teams. Silver Surfer barely had a rework at all. I wasn't really a big fan. I'm still not really either. Spider-Man Noir also in the D tier. He's not a bad character though in the Spider Society team. He's probably on par there with Ghost Spider there. There is some value here and there in a variety of other forms, like maybe using him with Secret Defenders. People were using for a long time after he got his boost. Spider-Man Pav. So this might be I almost want to put him in the S tier, but we got to admit that Pav does a shit ton of damage. right? Both as an enemy and just in general, his on spawn and applying the vulnerabilities to the enemies, his kit, his rebounding does a crap ton of damage. We've seen that before. Supav is really powerful. I actually do think that he's probably the best member of the Spider Society team, but that's just me. I'm not going to put him in the S tier, but I almost wanted to because I want to acknowledge how much damage he actually can push out. Storm, I'm going to put her in the B tier here with Beast. I do believe that she's really powerful. I've seen people use her in Dark Dimension 8 Global Hero, and I heard that her damage and her ultimate does a lot. And I want to acknowledge that, Storm deserves this, honestly. Like she was a really cool character. I'm glad that she's getting this rework, and I'm glad that she's going to be usable in the Uncanny Avengers team going forward. Sunspot. I'm going to put him in the B tier. Actually, no, I have to follow what I said. He's not a D tier character, but he's not really plug and play. That's the problem, right? And so Sunspot is really good in the Extreme X-Men team. He gives the charges that's necessary, especially for the Extreme X-Men if you're using a Dark Dimension 7 or Dark Dimension 8. I think we might be slowly moving away from Extreme X-Men, though. This is not like a proper tier list. It's just my thoughts on it in general. Sunspot's a great character, but not plug and play, so he definitely is not going to be in this upper tier list there. Void Knight, though. I'm actually going to give him S tier. I feel that when he came out, not now, but when he came out, his meta impact was there. He was usable in Arena. He was usable in a lot of the game modes and the PvP modes because he was fast with this turn bar mechanics in the same way kind of Kahori was, dragging everyone together, applying ability block. He had a really great kit, and so I do want to acknowledge that part for Void Knight there. Really like him. Thanos Endgame, obviously. I'm going to shuffle him up here with the other members of the Annihilators. Thanos Endgame, still amazing. They just gave out 310 shards for him in the Grootmas Orb, the first Grootmas Orb. Amazing, amazing character. We're going to be seeing Thanos Endgame for quite some time, probably, until they do something else that's like a crazy shift in the power in Marvel Strike Force. Ultimus. I'm actually going to put him in the B tier. I do actually like the Ultimus rework that happened. I think that he is plug and play. I think that you can, if you want to, for sure. He's a definite tank buster. And a lot of people are still bringing him up to Gear Tier 19 because there's no other alternative in the Mythic section to get Mephisto. So very likely you have him built, or you will have him built for that reason, and you will have some ways to be able to use him. I do actually like him. Oh, you know what? I'm actually going to put him in the... Oh, shit, what did I do? I'm actually going to put him in the A tier. That's crazy. Because I didn't want him to be in the same category as Ares, but that's just me. I'm being OCD about it. So I actually do like Ultimus. He was one of the newer stat era characters, right, with the Annihilators, and it was crazy, in my opinion. Venom, I'm gonna put him down here. Fortunately, he's slow. He's not really that plug and play, so I'm gonna put him alongside Carnage there. Vision, haven't really had a chance to use him that much, unfortunately, but what I have seen, he's up here in the stats, but him and Scarlet Witch just haven't. Actually, I realize that Scarlet Witch isn't on here, anyways. Scarlet Witch is not on here. Where's Scarlet Witch? Scarlet Witch. Let's find you, Scarlet Witch. I'm going to put you next to Vision because I just haven't found the same usage either. Wasp. I'm going to put Wasp in the B tier. I heard that she hits really hard. I do have her upgraded, but I haven't used her in War. I heard that when you have the full team of Absolute A-Force, that she hits really, really hard. But even her stun on her special is apparently able to like one-shot Odin, allegedly. I'm just saying that because I haven't actually done it myself. But she does hit really hard, and she hits lots of times. So I'm going to acknowledge Wasp's damage. Wolverine, going to put him in the D tier. He's not really plug and play either. But Wolverine's part of Alpha Flight, and we'll be using him. Zombie Scarlet Witch. I'm going to put her in the A tier. Obviously, we don't have the stars to really see the value of Zombie Scarlet Witch. If we had a 7/7 Zombie Scarlet Witch, we'd be like kicking people in the face constantly. Because her stats are good, her kit's good, and I really like the Undying team. Unfortunately, the way that Undying is set up, right, is that's what's keeping her from being an S tier character, probably, is that, you need the full team to kind of do more. But as a standalone character, I still think she's very solid, part of that new era stat. I think I'm missing one character, actually. I think I'm missing Iron Man, part of Illuminati. I didn't add him. I'm going to put him in the D tier. I guess that was a very last-minute inclusion there. But Iron Man, yeah, he can extend all negative stats effects on a special, but you're kind of dumping him once you get Captain Britain, right? Nobody's really using him over other characters, so I'm going to put him down here. And this is the class of 2024. Let me know if you think that something's just crazy out of whack, or if you think that, actually, if you think some of these characters deserve to be in the S tier. That would be the pretty easiest one. I think these are the S tier here. These are your top in class of 2024. These are your valedictorians here of 2024. These are, in my opinion, some of the best releases in the game for this year. And these are the characters that people have been talking about. And honestly, even in the A tier, I think a lot of these characters as well are people that people have talked about, this year as well. With the exception of Falcon. Yes, I understand he's pretty late to the game. But everyone else, I do believe that there was a lot of mention of these characters in general and how powerful that they were. Sorry. And the rest of them, well, they're not bad, but most of these are just the kind of the plus ones on the teams, I think. We'll see whether or not in 2025 any of these will get some more additional use. And I just wanted to do a little bit of a fun video here today on Marvel Strike Force on the Boilon channel as we kind of go towards the new year and all that stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the journey. Thanks for watching, everybody. And until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.